What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter von Panda here. Hey, I just bought this. It's a height adjustable gooseneck floor stand for tablets, 7 to 13 inches. Picked it up on Amazon. You may have various needs for this kind of thing, and you know it's really common to have tablets these days. But the funny thing is, a lot of times the tablet ends up serving a single use, and it's usually for display. Now, obviously, if you're using it for checking email and all those other things, a little bit of a laptop replacement, you can have lots of needs for doing that. But there's a lot of times when the tablet at any particular point in time is just serving one particular need. And I bring that up because sometimes I use them as teleprompters, sometimes people use them for as a music stand, you know, to play music or to read a speech off of or whatever, or sometimes just to watch TV, or even to use as a kiosk, you know, at a trade show and just have something running. And so a little tablet like this, 7 to 13 inches, is a really common size, and there's a lot of times you just want the tablet up, and maybe a little frame stand or something isn't going to work because you don't have a table. So these are kind of nifty. So first of all, I will just kind of explain the parts here. We do have this pretty large, as you might be able to see here, big plastic tablet holder. It's going to hold it on the corners. We have some V's here that hold it in, and then we have, looks like a macro adjustment on one end, and then kind of a tension piece on the other end. So this piece here looks like it slides. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so it looks like you hit this button and then this side comes out. So this is kind of where you make the macro adjustment for the different size tablets. And then you use this part, the spring-loaded piece, to kind of just hold it in. I like the fact that in this case, it's holding it in at the corner, because sometimes when the tablets are held in just by the sides, theoretically they could slide out. But when you're holding it by the corner and it's under tension, it actually can't get out, right? So that's kind of the nice thing. Now, I would actually probably put mine under tension like this, but you actually have it squared in there and it can't fall out, which is pretty cool. And then bringing it out is just as easy. I will say that there are these little raised ledges on each side, so the tablet kind of fits underneath these, so it won't pop out the top either, which is nice. And then right in the middle, we have a little foam pad here to kind of protect the back. I obviously have a case on mine, but if it's just exposed metal or plastic, you don't have to worry about it scratching against this plastic directly. On the back here, we have articulating arm screwed into the back, this kind of metal gooseneck. This is very stiff, so you won't have to worry about it flopping around. And then we have a hole in the bottom with a wing nut so we can tighten it to the stand, which I think is this piece right here. So we have a metal stand here. It looks like it's black powder coated, 4-bolt post on the bottom. We have a plastic collar right here, which looks like, I'm kind of assuming that you can raise this up and down, make it height adjustable. So there's another metal tube in there, and then when you tighten this down, that's going to tighten around there, and it's going to keep this telescoping tube in place. This is going to just screw onto the gooseneck. This little box here, again, my Kube knife, which is just fantastic. You have what I'm assuming is the base. Now, I'll be honest, this is pretty heavy, and it's going to have to be to really make sure that, you know, a top-heavy stand like this with the tablet on it won't fall over. But it's not the heaviest stand I've ever, or the heaviest base I've ever seen for these types of stands. In fact, some of them are just really large, wide kind of weights. And this is metal brackets, and you can see here, they actually kind of look like flat, stubby lawnmower blades, obviously not with a sharpened edge, but you can see here we have a little bit of a raised up metal piece, but they're pretty heavy, have some heft to them, and so they'll provide nice weight. And then you have two of them, they're just slightly different, I'm assuming. Yeah, one is just slightly deeper, and that's going to be because one's going to be on the bottom, the shallower one, and then the other one's going to sit on top. And then we have 4 holes that will line up, and that's where those 4 holes on the bottom of the post should line up with as well. And then we also have a little bracket here. So what you're going to want to do is take this top and throw it on here, and you'll probably have to unscrew this collar all the way, it looks like. Now you can get this on here, and you can put the plastic collar back on. This should kind of sit there and kind of keep those bolts covered. So here are the little bag of tools. You get some Allen keys, you get some bolts. So once you have your base pieces down, you're going to take the bar here and you're just going to line it up, and we're going to drop a washer onto the top bolt first bolt, and then we're going to drop the bolt through the hole here, and then we're going to use another washer and the nut just to tighten it up from the bottom. We're going to do that 4 times, obviously, and then get this post attached to the bottom here. All right, I've got all the bolts in, as you can see on the top, and then this little piece drops down, and then it kind of just covers it up, makes it a little clearer. I don't know that you need it, but it gives it a little cleaner finish. One thing I will say is that even though it comes with this hex key or Allen key, whatever you want to call it, to tighten in the bolts from the top, it would be nice if the little accessory bag came with one of those little sheet metal wrenches to hold the nut in place, because the nut's kind of free-wheeled a little bit as you're trying to tighten it down. So you're probably going to need a wrench or something like that, or a pair of pliers, just to kind of make sure that it's really nice and tight. So I'm going to have to tighten that up a little later. Now what you can do is you can take the gooseneck portion and just screw it on here. You want to make sure that that wing nut is loosened up, because that's what's going to tighten it down to the main post here. So you'll have to make sure that's loosened up so that you can actually put the gooseneck on, and then when it is on, you just tighten down this wing nut, and that's going to keep it in place. So here is the post itself. If I put it on the ground, like I said, it is adjustable, so I can loosen up this collar here and raise this sucker up or down. If I raise it up, the monitor is almost at my face level, so it could be used for, I don't know, like a teleprompter or something like that. And if I push it all the way down into the post, it's right about a little higher than belly button maybe for me. So this is great. And then you obviously have some adjustment with the gooseneck as well. And this is going to be great for, you know, reading, or watching a movie while you're working on your laptop or a tablet. It kind of can work as a separate monitor. Like I said, teleprompter, all sorts of cool stuff. So pretty cool. I guess I was a little worried that the base wasn't going to be heavy enough to support it, but yeah, that's pretty heavy, and I have no worries about this thing falling over. And the best part of this, it was under, I don't know, 35 bucks or something. So I picked it up on Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to pick one up. Peter Von Panda, out!